When I was younger, I consistently gave women the ick. I would make a girl who was initially attracted to me go dry as the Sahara Desert. I was like Houdini, but instead of myself, I made women's attraction for me disappear. Today, however, I get multiple dates a week, both from dating apps and real-life approaches. Here's an example of what my average day looks like.
I just saw you when I was walking by, and I want to say I think you're really cute. I know at a restaurant is unusual, but I had to say. Can I have your Instagram? What are you, European? Yeah, Eastern European? Yeah, that's as much as I can tell. I can't tell exactly. Yeah. I saw you walking by, would have regretted it if I didn't say I think you're really cute.
Oh, thank you.
Can I get your Instagram?
Yeah, sure.
Just want to say I like your look, your style. Can I have your Instagram?
Yeah, of course.
How long are you here for? I'm pretty shy, but I want to say I really like your style. I assume you use WhatsApp.
Yeah, in Brazil
Hi, I just want to say I think you're really cute.
Thank you so much.
Yes, where are you from? Can I get your WhatsApp?
Now, back when I was young and socially retarded, a girl literally was in my bed. She gave me a full body massage, but I managed to do one wrong thing that gave her the ick, and not only did I not sleep with her, I never saw her again. Fortunately, you can learn from my embarrassing failures so you don't have to repeat them. In this video, you're going to learn 3 things that 95%, and I'm being conservative, but 95% of modern men do that give women the ick. And near the end of the video, I'll give you a 100% free book that will make sure you never give women the ick again. So let's get right into it. The first one will probably surprise you. It's being a consumer. Now, I don't mean that in the sense that you buy things. That's called being American. I mean that you consume more than you produce in general. A man who spends hours every day lying on the couch, doom scrolling, watching Netflix, gooning, and playing video games will carry himself in a way that can only be described as derpy. The more you do these things, the softer your energy will be. The more you'll end up being depressed, anxious, stressed, unfulfilled, and the less you'll have what Gen Z calls aura. But the opposite is also true. If you spend your free time exercising, meditating, leveling up your career, learning skills, socializing, and generally being active, then you will carry yourself in a way that automatically is far more attractive to women. If your lifestyle is similar to the average incel, which means consuming content all day, thinking negative thoughts, and barely leaving the house, don't be surprised when your dating options end up shrinking over time. This comes down to the adage, easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. The more you avoid doing things that challenge you and that force you to get out of your comfort zone, the less grounded, resilient to stress, and confident you'll become. Number 2 is being a follower. Despite what feminism has tried to psyop you into believing, women are attracted to leaders. Do you know what the number 1 best-selling book was in the 2010s? 50 Shades of Grey. If you're not familiar, the book was about a man who was extremely dominant. He knew what he wanted, and he took complete control. If anything, he sounds like the perfect example of toxic masculinity, yet the book was written for women by a woman. Being a leader doesn't mean being controlling or domineering, although you could, but it does mean being dominant. It means you have no hesitation about making plans, about saying what's on your mind, even if you're disagreeing with the girl, and about generally being the person who makes the most decisions. This goes back to caveman times. Whether or not you like to admit it, our brains have barely changed since hundreds of thousands of years ago, and what makes women feel attraction for men today is basically the same as it was back then. In tribal times, mating with a low-status male was a death sentence for the child. Low status males had the least access to resources and the least social influence. The main difference between low and high status males wasn't having a pretty face, a Lamborghini, or a Rolex. It was a way of behaving. Low status men were followers. High status men were leaders. If you act like a follower, the ancient part of a woman's brain will tell her that mating with you is the worst thing she could possibly do. This comes down to taking the lead, but also carrying yourself like a leader. A leader speaks with certainty and conviction, not hesitation and deference. A leader is comfortable holding strong eye contact, and he is at ease with being physical. And really think about this. In your own life, the men you've been around that were the best with women, they tended to be more physical with people in general. They were louder and more gregarious. They were proactive instead of reactive. That wasn't a coincidence. The third thing that gives women the ick is the most pernicious because it requires you to completely rewire decades of conditioning. It's being ashamed of your desires. Now, imagine you're in high school and you get a boner in class. You're going to be worried that you'll get laughed at. If you have a crush on a girl, you're somewhat embarrassed about it and think that if you say that you like her, you might get rejected or even worse, get a bad reputation. We learn to be ashamed of our desires because a very small percentage of men have no empathy and take a woman's resistance as a sign to be even pushier. These are the guys that don't take no for an answer and constantly make women uncomfortable. Now, most guys would never do that. They're on the opposite side of the spectrum. But because there are a few men who are too pushy, we're all taught to be passive to the extent that we may as well be neutered like Varys from Game of Thrones. The truth is this: sexual desire is contagious, and the biggest turn on for women is being desired as long as they're comfortable. In psychology, this is called the desire to be desired. This is why women have a weird obsession with vampires. A vampire has an insatiable desire for a woman's blood, but that's actually a metaphor for wanting her in general and being unable to control himself. If a woman is uncomfortable with your desire, of course, you pull back and respect the boundary. But most men will never even show desire in the first place. And then they wonder why they get friend-zoned. The girl didn't even know you have a dick. You were asexual in her mind. If you like a woman and you hide that fact, she won't build attraction for you as you give her like friendship points and validation tokens. She'll assume you're a low status male that she shouldn't reproduce with. If you have trouble showing desire, there's one way to get over it that actually works. If you try to fix this with girls who are already in your social circle or that you work with, you'll get paralyzed because you don't want to risk ruining the relationships or getting a bad reputation in that circle. So you have to approach new women and make your intentions clear from the start. Go up to girls, talk to them, tell them you find them attractive. Some will say they have a boyfriend or that they're not interested, but you'll find that many immediately light up and reciprocate your interest right away. The more you do this, the more you'll disentangle the social conditioning that has tricked you into thinking your desire is always creepy or a turnoff. It's only creepy if you make your intentions clear, the girl is clearly not interested, and then you keep going as if nothing happened. So when you get this down, you'll have women literally bring up the idea of having sex with you like this cute Italian did just 30 minutes after I met her. So those are the 3 things that most men do that instantly give women the ick. And because you stuck around for the entire video, you can get a copy of my book, The Turning Point, 10x Your Dating in the Next 30 Days, completely free by clicking the link below. You'll be joining my free community on School, where you'll be surrounded by other men who are also taking control of their dating success. And you'll even have the opportunity to find wingmen to go out with in your city. All you have to do to get your copy of the book is to go to the classroom section and you'll see the link.